What's up, everybody? I'm Simon Sabro, and today I got for y'all my November reading log. So before I jump into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Simon Sabro YT. Link will always be down in the description. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload, all that good stuff. Also, make sure you comment down what you've been reading recently, anything you plan on reading, maybe just some of your pickups, anything like that. Maybe if you're reading digital or physical, anything like that. So with all that out the way, let's just jump right into it. Alright, to the people that normally watch me, comment down how you feel about that new intro. If you're new, still comment down how you feel about that intro. In the description, I'm going to leave below the link to the person that made the intro. Big shouts out to them. And I worked really hard on the beat, and I'm glad that their visuals matched up with it so well. And honestly, I'm really thankful for them. So definitely big shout out to them. Go give them a follow on Instagram. Go check them out if you need like an AMV or something made for your own projects. All that, definitely would recommend. As usual, we are going to split the video into two parts. One talking about physical manga, the other half being the digital manga. And as in the title, you could definitely tell a very big topic of discussion for the digital. But to start things out, I'm going to just start out real quick. Let's start with No Longer Human. I did touch on this in an entire video talking about it, so definitely go check that out if you want to hear more on it. But long story short, I really did enjoy it. Probably my favorite read for the month. The art in here was amazing. The story was absolutely amazing. And overall, I really can't complain whatsoever. It was just such a good, honestly, such an amazing story all around. Can't complain. Definitely like a 9 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10. But like I said, definitely go check the video out where I do talk about it if you want to hear a little bit more in depth regarding my thoughts on it. After that, we do have Look Back by Tatsuki Fujimoto. And this was I think the first thing I read, last month at the time this goes up. But Look Back, I did read it when it first came out digitally on the Shonen Jump app. And I was kind of iffy on it. I really didn't register everything that was happening. So reading it now again is okay, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. I wouldn't say it's the best thing I read because like I said, it is the first thing I read. So it didn't really stick with me that well compared to everything else, which is a lot more recent to me. But as usual, it is Tatsuki Fujimoto. Definitely comment down how you feel about the Chainsaw Man anime going on right now. I have not been watching it. Is it really good? How do you feel about it? Just let me know down below. I'll probably go watch it when I get the chance. But Look Back was overall pretty solid to my memory. I'd probably give it a good 6 out of 10, something like that. Like I said, I don't really remember too much of it, but it is what it is. Now, this next one, probably my least favorite read for the month, and that is Tokyo Aliens. This was definitely not my favorite read. I do like how the volume looks itself. Here you can read the back if you want to, but it was okay. Very, very standard. The art was very standard. The characters felt very standard. I'm not saying standard is bad, but it was okay, you know. It was just okay. Towards the end of the volume, it did feel really cool, but now I don't know if I'll probably get the next volume of it just to see, because the way it ended was actually pretty cool. But I'll probably get the next volume, maybe just go up to volume 3 just to see how I feel about it. But it was overall just okay. If you've read Tokyo Aliens, comment down how you feel about it, because I really was not the biggest fan of it. Now, we do have a couple more to get through for the physical side. This one, I don't know, first off, I'll just show it to you. It is Can an Otaku Like Me Really Become an Idol? And honestly, it was actually really good. It was actually really good. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this or read this, because I kind of just randomly saw it. I was at the bookstore, I saw the spawn, I was like, huh, that spawn looks pretty cool. Took out the cover, I was like, dang, there's a lot going on. It was just so colorful and vibrant. I was like, I'll see what it's about. And it is also actually a slip cover, and this is the actual cover. So it's really interesting. It's about this guy right here. I really don't remember his name, but they're both otakus, and he finds out that he's an otaku, and he's a really popular guy. And so he kind of catches him, and he's the popular guy's like, hey, I don't want you telling my secret, so since you know my secret, I gotta know your secret. And the nerdy guy doesn't really have like some big secret to say, so the popular guy kind of dresses him up as a girl idol kind of, and takes pictures to like kind of blackmail him. But turns out that some stuff happens, and so the popular guy is like, hey, that wasn't supposed to happen because my ideal person is an idol. So now what happens is that the nerdy otaku has to then become an idol to like kind of justify what happened. If you've read it, then you know what I mean. If you go and do a little bit of research, like if you just read maybe like the first 10 pages, it'll make a lot more sense. But the art in here was really clean, honestly, as well as the page quality. I don't know if you can really tell through the camera, but the page quality of it is really good. This is also a BL manga, and it's also completely uncensored. I'll just put that out there one time. It is completely uncensored, and it is a BL manga. I'm sure you could figure out what I mean by that. I don't have to say anything at all. But it was overall really enjoyable. I'd probably give it like a 6, 7 out of 10. Like I said, it was pretty enjoyable. Now, after that, we do have another one that I haven't talked about before, because this and the previous one were supposed to be in the December manga haul when that comes out. I did just read them really early, but this one was a banger, and it's Who Wants to Marry a Billionaire. This one is fire. I'm not even gonna lie. This is peak friction right here. So you can read the back of it, but it's about this one girl who's a shut-in neat, and she's like deep in debt. She's like, I'm talking like, I think it's like 3.4 million in debt. It was something wild. So there's this game show that's like, okay, you get on the game show and you do like game stuff. The host, not the host, but like the billionaire will be on the show, and he'll be like, all right, it'll be like 5 women, for example. He'll be like, yo, have a bunch of challenges for them, and whoever like fits his criteria the best, he then marries. So she enters the game show and is like, okay, if I can marry a billionaire, then I'll be out of debt and I'll live a good, comfortable life. So that's pretty much the basic plot of it. But it's so interesting because it's done in the fashion of like a death game. Think for example like Kaiji, Kekagurui, things like that. It's kind of done like that, and it's really, really interesting because it's just it's so serious, and the story is actually like genuinely good, and the characters are so interesting. So the way it starts out is also hilarious. So this is our main character. I think her name was like Yuna. I don't remember. I think it was Yuna. I'll call her Yuna, but I could be wrong. So Yuna kind of watches the game show on an illegal website, and because she watched it on an illegal website, when she signed up as a participant, she got sent to the underground version of it. So it's the one where like no holds barred kind of thing. So all of her other competitors are like criminals, but she doesn't know it because she didn't know that she was signing up for the wrong one. And it's really, really interesting, and I'll kind of show you what the other, oh, can't show that page. Like I said, it is peak friction, but do with that information as you will. Honestly, it was so good though. It was so good. So it's 6 females all in total for this competition. Is this one, and I'm gonna kind of go through the pages of it. If you want to stop and read it, then you'll kind of understand here. But it's so good, and I was right, her name is Yuna. This is the main character, but it is so good, so much fun. I think it's 3 volumes out right now, and I really want to go read it. I think it does finish at 7, so I'm probably gonna collect it all the way through. It seems like a really funny story. It's very enjoyable, and I would honestly really recommend it, if not for anything but just the story. Now, for the last physical manga we did read, it is one that I've been talking about for a minute, and it did recently finish, so I did go in through and read it like I promised, and that is Sensei's Pious Life, volumes 1 through 4. I'm gonna just kind of show off all of the volume covers here, but it was honestly, it was a ride. It was definitely a ride. The ups and downs, the twists and turns of it were ridiculous. There were so many points where I was like, what even could happen next? Like, I couldn't even fathom what could possibly happen next. And if you're unfamiliar with the story, for one, it is made by Akane Torikai, which is the wife of Inio Asano, which is the creator of Goodnight Punpun. I haven't read Punpun yet, but everyone tells me to. I'll get to it when I get to it, I promise. But it's just such an interesting manga, and it can make you feel really uncomfortable at times, depending on, like, you have to be really open-minded to read this manga. And just from these first couple of pages that I'm about to show you, you can kind of get a picture of what this manga is about. And definitely I would recommend reading at least the first volume. I feel like everybody should give this first volume a try. You might not like it. Like I said, it's not for everybody. It's definitely not. It's a very mature and dark manga. Like I said, you gotta be really, really open-minded for it. They do come wrapped in plastic for a reason. I'll also put that out. But this is peak fiction. This was honestly probably the best thing I read next to No Longer Human. Easily a 9 or even a 10 out of 10. Easy. And it was just, from all of the character, every character just felt so real, so human, if that makes sense, because every character was just so well-rounded. Like, they all had their flaws. They were all really good at certain things. The way they communicated with each other, it just felt so real. And I don't know if that makes sense to some people, but I know what I'm trying to say. Hopefully the point gets across, because this manga was just so good. If you've read it, definitely comment down how you felt about it, because I'm genuinely at a loss for words. Like, I'm being serious. It was just so good, so interesting, so unique to me. And when I read Punpun, I hope I kind of get the same kind of impression. Please don't comment anything about Punpun. A lot of people tell me go read it. I've had it for so long, just haven't read it yet. But that's all for the physical manga. All right, so now we're going to talk about the digital manga. I'm going to try and keep this really short. There's not much I want to talk about. There was, I believe, 3 new Shonen Jump titles that started as of recently. I've only read 2 of them. The first one being the Ichinose's Family Sin, something like that. And it is by the same creator of, I believe it's called Takopi's Original Sin. I haven't read it. Everyone's talked about it though, but I haven't read it. I just know it's by the same creator. But Ichinose's Family Sin, banger. Easy. First chapter, one of the best first chapters I've read in a while. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you. It starts out as a basic slice of life. A family kind of got into an accident and all of them lost their memory. I think it's like a family of, I know it's a brother, which is the main character, a little sister, a mom, a dad, grandma, and a granddad, I think. So it's a family of 6, and all of them lost their memory. So they're at the hospital, they're just talking, trying to like invoke fake memories so that they could probably, you know, bring up something and it'll click. But I'm like, okay, it's okay so far, it's decent. Could be interesting, whatever. So then they get home, and they all go to their room. First thing you notice is that all of their room doors are locked with individual locks on it. So they all go to their room, and you find out, well, you only find out from the main character what's in his room and why he's hiding it. You don't really know why he's hiding it, but you know that something is wrong. And the way it ends, they leave their room and they go to have dinner, and they're all acting suspicious. So now it's like, what did they see in those rooms? And it's so good. It is so good. It was so, that first chapter just caught me off guard because it threw me for a loop, and it was so good. And the second chapter was a banger as well. So I'm not gonna say what happened in the second chapter, but just know it was really, really good. Definitely go read it. Now, the other one is called Cypher Academy or Cyber Academy, one of those things. And I believe the story is written by Nishio Ishin, which is the creator of the Monogatari series, and one of my favorite manga being Imperfect Girl. Now, I've only read the first chapter. I didn't read the second chapter, but it was interesting, but not my kind of interesting. I think a lot of the way it went about, I didn't really keep up with, but I did also read it at like 4 in the morning, so I wasn't really keeping up with it that well, but it was okay. It just wasn't Ichinose's Family Sin. I'll be honest. That's probably what it was in my head, but it was good for what it was. I do think that it has potential, and one thing that it did really cool is that for the, like, you'll see it in like the first couple of pages. I would also recommend reading this one just to go read it, but in the first couple of pages, there's like characters will be talking and it'll be like blanked for certain reasons. And at first I thought it was like an error on the app or something, but then it did it more throughout that chapter. And I was like, dang, that's kind of cool actually. But I don't know what they plan on doing with that. Knowing Nishio Ishin, I would expect it does have some purpose down the line. That's probably gonna make a lot of sense. And I honestly, I think it's probably just having a really slow start. I think it'll probably get better as it goes on. But with these new Shonen Jump titles, I really try not to get my hopes up because everything gets canceled lately. Literally all of my favorites have been getting canceled, so I'm not gonna get my hopes up anymore. But the main thing I did want to talk about, as I said, it is in the title of the video. And spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear anything about Tokyo Revengers ending, because I'm about to rant for X amount of time, if you don't want to hear anything about it, thank you so much for watching. Definitely leave a like, subscribe, catch you in the next one. But for the people that's still locked in, man, I got a lot to talk about. I got a lot to talk about. And to start off with, for one, Tokyo Revengers, I still did enjoy the manga. I'm gonna just put that out there. I did enjoy the manga still, but I think the ending just didn't sit right with me. And in, I think, my other reading log where I had Tokyo Revengers in the title, I said the way that I think it should end is with Takemichi dying, and that did not happen. I didn't expect it to happen, but I think it would have been fitting. Now, the way it did end was a very happy ending, and that last chapter showing off like the aftermath, it was like, okay, kind of cool. Kind of reminded me of like Tokyo Ghoul re-ending a little bit, where it's like just a really happy ending. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm glad Takemichi got what he wanted. But at the same time, I feel like it kind of defeated the purpose of everything Tokyo Revengers kind of stood for. And it was the fact that Takemichi could never do it perfectly. There was always somebody who dies. There was always something that went wrong. It was just never perfect. And the way that he did it perfectly was just very, didn't make sense. Because, and I'll put the panel up where Takemichi and Mikey got sent back into the past. And I think Takemichi was like, what happened? And Mikey was like, I don't know, but it's cool, I guess. So I was like, you want to tell me we can't even get like a proper explanation for it? And I was like, I don't know. It was really just all over the place. Now, the part where we find out with Mikey's brother, where he got the time traveling powers, it was like, okay, kind of cool. I was like, I don't really see it, but I was like, I guess kind of cool still. And the fact that when he gave the powers to Takemichi, the panel where it was like, this is what connected all of our fates, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool actually. But then, like I said, just like the last 10 chapters or so of Tokyo Revengers, I just was not feeling. That last arc alone, like I really think Tokyo Revengers should have ended after the Kizuki arc, where Mikey went back to the future, or the present technically, and he was getting married and everybody was there except for Mikey. I really think it should have just ended that way. And then maybe, you know, he went and goes talk to Mikey and it's like, all right, just leave it at that. But I felt like I said, it just would have been so poetic if like Takemichi died in the end because he just got greedy and wanted to save everybody. But he got the happy ending instead. It's cool. It's okay. It's okay. If you've read the Tokyo Revengers ending, comment it down, but definitely put like a little spoiler alert kind of thing, just so other people don't go and read it, because I know not everybody's reading Tokyo Revengers. If you can, comment down how you feel about the ending of Tokyo Revengers. If you want to, you could DM me on Instagram and I'll happily talk about it with anybody. If you feel like it was a good ending, the perfect ending, definitely let me know. If you hated the ending, thought it was awful, worst ending ever, definitely let me know. I'm very curious. I'm gonna try and not let the video go on too long, so let's give a quick shout out to our YouTube channel member. Big shout out to him. Definitely, if you want to become a channel member, hit that join button down below. You do get the videos way earlier. It helps support the channel. I'll have bigger manga hauls, all that good stuff. So if you want to support, definitely do support. Once again, definitely be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload, all of that good stuff. And that's really it for the video. This is Simon Sabro signing out. I'll catch you on the next one.